Hi there, it's Debbie Anderson here, and I'm here today to help you on your healing path and to raise your level of consciousness with education, science, and spirituality. So today I'm going to specifically talk about how to get through difficult times with your narcissistic partner. This is a good time to talk about this because there are a lot of people that are in isolation, continued isolation now because of COVID-19. However, it can often feel like you're isolated with this person at any time. It just might be worse right now for you. So you might have been planning for weeks to move out of your house and leave your abusive partner, but this global crisis seems to be here right now and put a halt on your plans. You already know that you're on a higher vibration than he is, and you already have made your highest possible choice for yourself and your future to leave, but this crisis has slowed you down a bit. So, looking at the practical side, you have started a plan on how to step into your power, which includes setting aside money, perhaps getting some education for a possible career in the future, figuring out how to get a reliable car, and a place to move into temporarily or permanently. So then the COVID-19 comes along, and now it looks like you have to be with your narcissistic partner a little longer. You know who this person is, though. You know your abusive partner and who you've lived with, and you know exactly who he is. You're aware of his patterns and how he behaves, and you've learned how to keep yourself safe in the past, and this crisis is only temporarily, and it's only going to last for so long. Yes, the schools are closed, and so many places are closed, and you have to spend much more time in close quarters with them. However, you know him, and you know how he's going to behave. You know his reactions. It may seem overwhelming, but you know who this person is. Many of the things that are normally said to you as a woman might not be the right choices now, because you're in isolation with your abuser, and you might need to do the exact opposite of what you normally would do when there was no crisis. So if you can still leave. The most obvious way to be safe is to go to a family or a friend's house, but it might not be possible right now, and this all takes plans. And it's very important that you have a safe landing place before your abuser realizes that you're gone. So if your plan is, and you're able to leave now, obviously be discreet and be very secretive. The virus has caused a problem in many people's plans, including travel. And in a lot of places, only family members who live with each other can be living in the same house. So it makes it impossible to leave right now and move in with anyone else. However, if you can, and you're planning on moving in with a friend or your family member, make sure they're very comfortable with what's going on with you and your children, and that they're aware of the narcissists in your life behavior and issues. You already know he's violent, whether it's physically or not. It's still violence. Does he have people that he's manipulated into doing harm to you in other ways? For example, like smearing your good name. It's important to keep your plans quiet about leaving until you actually leave. Very, very important. I'll repeat that it's very important to keep your plans quiet about leaving until you actually do leave. It may be better off for you to stay where you are a bit longer, though. And remember, your narcissistic partner is not a stranger to you. And you may feel trapped, but you can do this. And this global crisis will not last forever. So for those who can't leave, although you might want to do this, it may be the best option to stay with your abusive partner for a while and stay where you are. If you have to do this, you aren't alone. And you and many others have survived, and you can survive this rough time by using your mind. You're a powerful warrior. Don't forget that. The hard part is feeling like you have nowhere to go. It's very difficult to avoid confrontation and conflict anytime with a narcissist, since they get their supply from it. but it's much harder than when you're stuck under the same roof with them. In normal times, you might be able to go out, see a friend, go shopping, take a break for a few hours. However, in some places, it's not possible right now to do this. The shutdowns are affecting children too, who rely on schools to provide routine and other people to observe their behaviors. They're at a much higher risk of being abused by a narcissistic parent during these crisis times. The children are right in the middle of potentially violent situations and can be the target of narcissistic parents' frustrations, which can cause even more stress for the abused parent. Now, here's some things to consider if you find it necessary to stay with your abuser for now. Don't use your voice. This is not the time to speak up for yourself against your abuser if you're in isolation with your narcissistic partner. It's also not the time to tell him you're planning to leave. The best way to cohabitate with an angry and abusive person is to play gray rock. Now, gray rock's when you act like a rock, literally a gray rock that has no response to anything and anything that the narcissist does or says. A rock never yells, cries, sighs, moves, and is still and quiet. And when you're dealing with an abusive, potentially violent person, acting like you're a gray rock can save your life. These are not usual times. They will not last. There will come a time for you to speak up after you're safely gone. But for now, keep as much peace as possible. And your primary concern is to stay safe. Next is don't push your boundaries. Narcissists don't care about boundaries, and there's never a good time to set them. With them, however, now is not the time to set them if you're in quarantine with a narcissist. If you're in any danger at all, call the police. It's important to recognize that things can go quickly out of hand with a narcissist, going from an argument about his never helping out with household tasks to where it quickly escalates to a point where it becomes an emergency. If you have children, they must be safe at all times so the narcissist does not harm them in any way. No doubt, this is information you already know. However, a reminder never hurts. And this is also very hard and stressful for you, requiring your wisdom and your vigilance. Calling a domestic violence hotline is always available for you 24 hours a day to get support and further information. And if you're afraid your internet usage might be monitored, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Users of the web browser Microsoft Edge will be directed to Google when clicking the X or escape button, by the way. Next is keep walking on eggshells. You might find it hard to walk on eggshells around your narcissistic partner, but the secret to survival in some situations now is to avoid making things worse and causing his wrath to come out until after you're safely gone. If your narcissistic partner wants you to have a different choice of food, for example, watch a different movie, behave, or he just wants to behave in his usual control freak manner, you'd be smarter to go along with him for now and play the game. Keeping yourself and your children safe physically or emotionally is your goal, especially in these times of isolation. It's frustrating to do what the narcissist wants, but for now you need to stay calm and avoid arguments when possible. Unless you're in physical danger, it's best if you keep walking on eggshells until you can walk out the door. And your number one goal is always to be safe and for your children to be safe. So 3 things to help you stay balanced. Find some space for yourself. Cabin fever is never fun, but it's worse with a narcissist, and the key is to spend as little time with the narcissist as possible. You might be able to go for a walk around your neighborhood, go into your backyard, out on your balcony, even to another room in your house. If you're stuck in the same space, reading a book or texting a friend is a way to offset and distance yourself from the abuse. Focus on your breath can also give you as much peace within, and you can do this anywhere and anytime. I know it sounds simple, and it is. However, it works very well to feel peaceful inside and to find a way to calm yourself and feel you have a sense of power. You can also go into your bathroom and do a few minutes of meditation, which also will help balance you and feel calm and find some serenity in this difficult situation. Next is stay in contact with a trusted friend. Text a friend, talk to them about what's on your mind, your dreams, your future. Tell them about as much as you can about the situation so you don't feel so isolated and alone. They might also be able to give you some good advice and support if they understand your situation. Next is continue to dream of your future. No matter who they are, what they are doing, they can't take away your hopes and your dreams. You always have access to them in your mind. Spend a few minutes when you can, when you're alone, and focus on what they are and what your future looks like. You won't always be stuck with this narcissist. You have been through one of the hardest parts, and that is to identify that you're in an abusive relationship. This will pass. These restrictions will be lifted, and soon you will be able to follow through with your plans to leave. Until then, do the little things that keep you focused on the positive and keep your vibration high. Raising your consciousness and keeping it high will help you so much towards your ability to deal with a narcissistic partner in these troubled times and in the future. Do things like repeat a positive affirmation when you find your mind wandering to the negative. Light a candle, your favorite candle. Make some food that you like, treats, snacks, baking. Watch funny shows that make you laugh. Take a walk or even sit outside on your porch or your balcony. Look for those little things that you're grateful for every day. Before you know it, this will be over. As always, you must keep yourself safe, and if there's any indication of physical violence towards you or your children, you can call the hotline, which the number is listed in the website or here, and you can always call 911 if you ever feel at risk. You're doing a great job. This is very difficult times. You can do it. You know who this person is. Your vibration will be raised just by being away from him, even in your mind. Love to each of you, and take care. Until next time.